So hello everyone, Monden here, welcome to my explanation of the Attack on Titan 3 season ending. And yes, it's very heavy spoilery, so if you're an anime only watcher, press the like button to subscribe, right? And probably don't watch this video. However, I will say this thing, last year, that anime ending was just absurdly spoiling for everyone, it was insane. This here, I feel it's just about Historia. It's not overly spoiling, but of course I'm gonna go into scene by scene here and talk about what they mean, right, and what's I loved, and what's I felt like this is really meaningful. And yeah, we're gonna talk about, you know, from everyone knowledge, right, from all the spin-offs and everything, right. So definitely this. I spoil you warning now. Let's get right at it. So in the scene after the flower, there's just two titans, right? There's only two titans in the ending altogether, and the opening had no titans whatsoever. I think it's important because both the opening and the ending is about people's childhood, right? The opening showed like Irvin, Levi, Kenny and so on. The ending instead shows, of course, Historia, primarily, little Ymir later on, little Erin, right? It's all about that childhood. It's not really about what Titan's doing. It's about human versus human. And so in this episode, it's about killing each other, right? I think that's the important thing here. You can also see the bird, which is coming later, of course, when it's flying away there. So after the Titans, we do see Historia, right? She's working with this like boring, mundane, carrying some trees to like burn and whatever, right? Carrying some, and it's just like that's her kind of life, right? She was stuck in this little slavery position. She had to use work and always be kind of hide away in her own little birdcage, right? So I think that's important here. She had a birdcage life. There's a bird flying there. Next thing after this, right, we get a bird flying over city, escaping, right? So it's all about her will, dream of freedom, and her kind of desire to not be stuck in prison, right? Like she never cared about being a royal person. She wanted to have a family. She wanted to have friends, right? I think that's a very important thing. Generally, the whole, okay, how do I escape this thing? How to go away from here? And I think the next scene, this is definitely my favorite scene in the ending. The bottomless depth, right, between her and her family. So she falls down in the water and it kind of ebbs out. It's kind of hard to see that her family is on the left side because there's a lot of credits going there. But in the end, you can see them kind of clearly. And of course, it's her family looking from the fence, right? That fence coming back in the last scene. And that's kind of the fence she was never allowed to go over, right? The fence is her wall, so to speak. But it's her Attack on Titan wall. The last secret wall, which is that fence between her and the royal family. I think this is a very good scene because of course we know that she's sometimes met her sister, right? And she was never really allowed to just go over that little short fence. She was always stuck having this mundane slave work on the other side of us. So I think this scene, just by itself having that fence is really great. But as she's falling down, she's like, you know, distance is increasing and increasing between her and this fence and her family, and she can never really be with them. So her loneliness of never having a family and so on, right? It's a very strong scene. I think the next scene, also for that matter, kind of connects to this, right? So the whole struggle of Historia finding friends and finding family and so on is very important for her, of course, right? But again, I think this scene is definitely the most important scene in the ending, because not only does it have the fence scene, it has the family standing looking down on her, right? It's kind of the distant girl, kind of the bastard girl that no one cares about. And yeah, like she's falling further and further away from them. So again, this to me is the most important scene in the ending. Very good scene. And then we see the next scene here then, that it's of course Eren always had family, right? Eren had his father. So we see, of course the scene has two meanings. First of all, it's Eren and of course Grisha going to attack the family, right? Connected back to her, of course, Historia's main story that someone killed the royal family, right? Almost all of them, which of course is Grisha. So it's going back to that, you know, killing her sister and so on. And yeah, that of course is important, and that's a wood scene. But at the same time though, we see Historia standing there alone, right? So it's also important that it both notified that Eren always had his father and mother and so on. He had a family, he had a bad child as well, right? And then they don't get killed and so on. But he had a family, well, she was alone. I think that scene is also important in that sense. And also, she's alone now because Grisha and Eren killed her family. So it's like, it has double meaning. This is also very important here, as it connects to both, yeah, like, you know, okay, she's alone, and they also made her even more alone by killing off her family. So in the next scene then, of course, see Ymir's life versus Ymir as a poor child. Ymir being this kind of princess, the Ymir of the Titan family line before she died by the Marley. So yeah, this is spoiling here now, right? And all of that, of course, Ymir joining the army of Historia and being Historia's friend, right? So I think it's a pretty nice, quick scene there, kind of showing Ymir's kind of, you know, her life, right? But the important thing of this scene is the next scene, right? We see she's trying to reach that hand, and Ymir is gone now, and she falls through it, and she falls into bottomless darkness, this pit, right? That's the important thing, right? Ymir was her only friend, her love, we suppose, right? Ymir just loved her very much, but they had their, you know, the Ymir stuff, and yeah, Ymir was everything to her. She was the first person she really cared about, and now she's lost, right? So this kind of connects back to the current story, though, which I feel, this is a great scene, but it's a little like, well, this happened last season, every other scene happened in the past, right? So that makes it different though. However though, then you made this yet another scene where we see, oh, it's like Nakama, now everyone like, yeah, this is all her friends and they're all in this army together and so on. So, of course, this scene with Ymir and her falling scene, and then the next scene, of course, with everyone's going through the different torso people, is supposed to show her that she has found her family now, right? That's, of course, the point. She has found her family now, and, you know, like she has to, yeah, like she should be happy now. And then we see her running towards something. And when I see this scene, I'm thinking that, okay, this has to mean that, you know, she's free now, she can run, she has her friends, right? Even if she lost Ymir, she has everyone else now, she's running to freedom, and then, bam, right? Bam, we see the fence again. So I love how that ends like that. We see the fence again, and it's like, oh, it's still there. The wall is still there. Yeah, this really ends great, I feel. I mean, it really goes back to kind of full circle, right? So she has her friends now. She has lost Ymir though, but she has new friends. She has the whole army. She has gone through the bad backstory of fighting to, like, oh, my family, they all hated me, they kept me away, I couldn't meet them, had a bottomless depth, right? But after that, it's like, oh, the fence is still here. That mental wall is still here in a way. She still has to have the whole hurdle of defeating her father, right? As we know, he's gonna try to trick her, that hurt Eren and so on. She has to be like, has still to overcome that, right? So I feel this fence ending here is really, really important. And also, for that matter, I don't want to spoil the manga where it's currently is, right? But if you read the current manga chapter, it's kind of like it's all about the story again. And I feel this connects to that bit, a little bit at least, because she, of course, now she's in the manga, she's currently, I would say, forced to do the bloodline, right? She's forced to go back to what her father wanted to do. So even though she jumped over this fence eventually in the manga, and of course on soon in the anime, she's still kind of back into this birdcage, right? So I do feel this last scene has a little, some reminiscence to the current manga as well. I think it's a very, very good scene how it ends back on the fence at the farm. I think it's quite beautiful. So anyway, hope you liked this video. Subscribe, right? Press that like button, and I'm coming up with more Attack on Titan videos, of course, in the future. We're gonna have the manga chapter soon here, and of course anime every Sunday, right? So have a great day, and see you guys.